Alright, it's fishing season again. And I have the fortunate business of having all of the Penn Fathom Low Profile baitcasters. If I misspeak or stutter, please just bear with me. So, in the low baitcasters, Penn has the 200 size, 300 size, 400 size. I think that's pretty standard, but I'm just getting into baitcasters. I figured, well, I want a rod and reel for anything and everything I could possibly want to fish. So I got the whole collection. Especially after I saw how well the 400 and 300 performed, I got the 200. And I've noticed there are some interesting differences. So like the 200, it's a slightly smaller size than the 300. Like, you really have to compare them side by side to see what the difference in size is. Between the 300 and 400, it is a no question difference in size. It's a big difference. Another difference is the 200 and 300 reels. When you're taking the side plate off to adjust your centrifugal brakes, the 200 size is going to have this retaining pin that's going to make it where you're not going to lose this side plate. The 300 size, just do your best not to lose it. Other than that, it's not a big deal. You really should not be messing with this outside of, putting line on your spool, which you really shouldn't be doing in the middle of the ocean or lake or wherever you're at. Like I said, the 200 and 300, you're gonna flip a switch or lever, whatever you want to call this. Down is to unlock it, up is to lock it. When you unlock it, you just pull straight out. That's the same for these two sizes. The 200 series, the regular one, so right and left-handed, gold and black, it's the slowest out of the three. It is, even though the gear ratio is 6.6 to 1, while the 400 is 6.2 to 1. According to Penn's website, the 400 is still pretty significantly faster than the 200. Per rotation, the line retrieval is only 27 inches per turn. And the drag on the 200 is the lowest, but let's be honest on what you're using the Penn Fathom 200 for. This is for your bass, your bluegill, this is for your stuff that's 20 pounds and under. But even so, there's a lot, like Chad Hoover recently did a video, well, fairly recently, bragging about the Shimano Corrado digital control, DC. And if you look those up, you look up these super fancy digital control baitcasters that are all the rage right now, and the drag is only like 10 pounds, 11 pounds. I think the highest I've seen on a lot of baitcasters is 15, 20 pounds at most. But Penn, for the most part, Penn is leading the way on the drag on these baitcasters. With the 200, you're looking at 24 pounds. With the 300, this has the best drag out of the three at 30 pounds. There are a lot of catfish and saltwater reels that don't have that kind of drag. And the 400 size, which this is made for bigger fish. This is what people are putting on their catfish bumping rods. And the drag on that is 25 pounds, which is still more than what a lot of saltwater and catfish reels are rated for. You're looking at about 20 pounds for instance, the very popular Abu Garcia catfish reels. The heavy duty ones are rated for like 20 pounds. This beats that. The difference between the 400 and your dedicated catfish and saltwater reels is the line capacity. Other than that, you're looking at very comfortable large knobs to really torque and reel your large fish in. I have this on top of a Catch the Fever bumping rod. And honestly, I'm using this as my everything catfish rod because I can. The side plate on the 400. This is different from even the other two because this has a screw-in retention pin that is spring-loaded. So to release the side plate, you have to pull the pin after you unscrew it, and with another hand, you have to put your side plate on. And the side plate rotates on. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And then once you get that on, you're gonna twist this until it's snug. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna snug it until you can't snug it anymore with your fingernail. And it seems to work. You can take a small screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and tighten it down even more. But you know, if you are on a boat and something happens with the line where you had to cut it and you need to change out your line, you know, you better have a screwdriver with you to loosen it back up. So just use your fingernail and make sure it's snug. That's all you need to do. That way you can use a fingernail and lefty loosey so you can get to it. Other than how the side plate comes off, the function on all of the Penn Fathom reels is exactly the same. It uses the same amount of centrifugal brakes. You know, there's a 6 centrifugal brake tabs in each reel. And so you do half on, half off. And as far as the magnetic brakes, there's no numbers, but I did the counting and there are 27 clicks from all the way to max brakes to no brakes at all. 27 clicks. So to be in the middle, there is no exactly halfway. So you got slightly more on or slightly more off, because halfway is going to be 13 or 14 clicks, one way or the other. You have your spool tension, which is pretty standard, and it's exactly the same for all three. For the 200 and 300 series, the grips to retrieve your line is they're exactly the same. Again, the 200 and 300 is the most similar, and then the 400 Fathom is going to be dedicated. This is your fish specific reel right here. I wrote down some specs, and I might have already said some of them, but I'm going to go over all of it again. When looking at gear ratios, I have just recently started to get back into fishing, and so I've started to look at reels, and I have realized that depending on the brand, that really, the brand and also model, that really determines the speed of retrieval. So you need to, if it's not listed on your Cabela's website or on the box that you're looking at, you need to go to the brand website and you need to look at the specs if you really care about the speed of retrieval. So even though it says 6.6 to 1, it is 27 inches. The 300 standard is 7.3 to 1, and that is 34 inches, which is the same as the 400 6.2 to 1, which is also 34 inches. I'm going to go over the drag again. It uses the HT100 system. I don't know what exactly that means, but I can tell you it's this star system right here. And you're going to, it's a very positive back and forth. Counterclockwise, the twist is to tighten the drag. Clockwise or towards you is to loosen the drag. I have some line out so I can show you some of the action. For the 200, you're looking at 24 foot-pounds of max drag. The max drag on the 300 is 30 pounds, which is the best drag. And the 400 is second best drag at 25 pounds. Braid capacity. You're looking at a increase of about 40 yards as you go up in size, depending on what size braid. Anyway, so for like 30 pounds, for the 200, you're looking at 180 yards. 50 pounds, 125 yards. For the 300, for 30 pounds, you're looking at 235 yards. And for 50-pound braid down the 300, you're looking at 165. So again, like for the 50-pound braid, it's a difference of 40. But for the 30-pound braid, it's a difference of 55. And for the 400, you're looking for 30-pound braid, 285 yards, and 200 yards of 50-pound braid. The 400 Penn Fathom is 13.9 ounces, 9.2 ounces for the 300. So you can tell it's a big jump between the 3 and 400. Anyway, the 200 is 8.1 ounces. So 0.1 over half a pound. I don't know why I said that. That's pretty obvious. Anyway, so I have small hands. From the end of my palm to the tip of my middle finger is about 5.5 inches. And so this is what it looks like when I grip the 200. This is what it looks like when I grip the 300, which is not much of a difference. And this is what it looks like when I grip the 400. Again, this feels pretty decent in the hand. And then for my small hands, this probably feels the best. If you go with any of these reels, you're not going to be disappointed. It's really not that hard to figure out where to be in your magnetic brakes. The Penn Fathom Low Profile baitcasters, I would say they are all better than a lot of its competition, but it also has some things to be desired. I kind of, even though it's not really needed, it would be nice to have numbers on the magnetic adjustments. It would be nice if the side plate removal was uniform throughout all of the reels. And I also wish that the drag adjustment was had a definitive end and beginning. Because once you reach max drag on these star adjustments on the pen, takes a little bit of force to make it go the other way, as I think I showed earlier when I adjusted whichever one it was for the camera. I really like the weight of it. I like the feel of it. I'm going to be honest. I like this. I really, really like this flat black with the gold. I have always thought the black and gold was a very attractive look on anything. Everything clicks and activates very smoothly. I would show that action more if I had a third arm and a third hand. What would I say each one is for? So my setup, I have this as my bass fishing. Lightweight fish, bluegill. I'd say any fish that is 20 pounds or under, this is what my setup is. Fish that is 10 to 30 pounds, this is what my setup is. For fish that are 30 pounds and above, this is my setup. The rods I have the pens on, this is the Catch the Fever bumping rod. It is 7.5 feet long. It is rated for line that is 20 to 80 pounds braid. Bait that is 2 to 8 ounces, and this is a heavy action bumping rod. For the 300, I have it on a Lew's 7-foot medium heavy fast action for 10 to 30 pound line, and bait that is a 1/4 ounce to 2 ounces. And this is the Abu Garcia Vendetta, and it's 6.5 feet long, medium heavy action, 1/4 to 1 ounce bait, and for line that is 12 to 20. So this collection, these combos that I have right here, for freshwater, there really isn't anything that you won't be able to catch that is 100 pounds and under. Hope this helps somebody. I believe this is the first and only video that really gives any kind of in-depth on the differences between the 200, 300, and 400 Penn baitcasters. If anyone has any questions or comments, please let me know in the in the section below.